Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Mia and Jane Z. Before we get into today's episode, I just want to give you the speech again. If you like the content that you see on here, please remember to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to comment your thoughts on today's episode in the comment section down below, as well as any other topics you would like me to discuss in future episodes. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and have the notification bell on so that you know when new videos go up. With all of that out of the way, guys, let's get into today's episode. Okay, guys, so in today's episode, it's kind of going to be a reflective episode, something to help you reflect on how you're living your life, something to make you think, something that is making me think as well, because I've noticed that I also tend to be guilty of some of the things that I talk about. And what I want to talk about today is not being so future focused that you miss out on the present, and also not just living in the bad times. And I will touch on both of these. So I want to start with not just living in the bad times. Now, when we're going through a bad time, and I feel like a lot of us, or maybe all of us, have experienced at least, a bad patch or a bad time in our lives once or twice. This past 2 years definitely has had its ups and downs. And we seem to be very aware when we're in a bad patch. We seem to be very aware when times are bad, that times are bad. We know, this is not what life is. This is a bad patch I'm going through. Things are tough right now. Things are not going my way. We're very aware of bad times when we're in the bad times. But I feel like we're not very aware of the good times while we're in the good times. We always seem to reflect on the good times only when we're in the bad times, but when we're in the good times, we don't really realize, or we don't fully live in the good times because we're so future focused. And that is kind of where the two things that I want to discuss combine or come together. Where when we're in the present moment and we're living in a good time, it's a good time for us, things are maybe going as planned, perhaps we're achieving our goals, things are going well, you're spending more time with your loved ones, things like that. Where we're in the good times, being too future focused can take away from you enjoying that good time, because you're putting all your attention on what could happen in the future. And I do believe that planning for the future and being prepared for the future is very important. And maybe I could do a video on that sometime, I don't know, maybe, but let's not get into that today. Let's focus on today. See, once again, I'm thinking about what I'm going to do in the future instead of just focusing on what I'm doing right now. And that is what I'm saying. When we're in the good times, do we actually appreciate the good times? Are we actually present in the good times? And in fact, I can actually pull from another topic that I've discussed here: technology, cell phones. When we're in the good times, when we're spending time with family or loved ones or friends, are we actually present in the moment, in the good time, or are we distracted by our phones? Are we distracted by messages coming through on our phones, or DMs, or social media? And as I always say, sharing the memories on social media is great, because then you can go look back on them. But you don't want to just look back on it. So, I remember when we took this photo, and then nothing. Take the photo to savor the memory, but make sure that you are actually living in that present moment so that you actually have a good memory and you don't just remember sitting there playing on your phone. Be as aware of the good times when you're in the good times as you are aware of the bad times when you're in the bad times. Don't just let the good times be something you reflect on when you're in bad times. Appreciate the good times while you have them, and be present in the good times while you have them. While you're making memories, be present. Yes, you can take your photos for social media to savor the memories. Of course, that is fantastic. But don't let it take over. take your picture and then put the phone down, put the distraction down. It may not even be your phone, it could be another distraction, but I do mention phone and social media because that is kind of a part of our generation. Basically, it's what our generation's kind of defined with, the social media boom, the technology boom, those types of things. That's why I'm mentioning it. But of course, then it can be a lot of other distractions as well. Perhaps you're still working on things that you need to do in the future. You're already focusing on what I need to do tomorrow instead of just enjoying where you are right now. And then when you look back on the photo, you can remember when you took it, but you can't really remember any of the fun things of that day because you weren't really present. So that is what I wanted to start off with being present in the good times while you're in the good times, so that when you're in the bad times, yes, you can reflect on the good times, but you will actually be able to remember when you were a part of the good things that were happening. And then you can work yourself out of the bad times by knowing that, I know that good times will happen for me again, and when I have them, I will appreciate them. Because we always get to the bad times like, oh, if only I appreciated the good times while I have them. A good analogy to make is like when we're just sitting here breathing, it's fun, and then as soon as you get a cold or your nose is blocked, you're like, oh, I wish I appreciated my nose while it wasn't blocked, when I could still breathe through my nose. We never really realized, oh, thank you, nose. Okay, that is kind of a silly analogy, but it works because we never really think we're in the good times when we're in the good times, and then when the bad times comes, like, oh, those were actually good times, I should have been more present. And then it comes like with regret, and you're already in a bad place, so it just piles on to that. So appreciate the good times while you're in the good times, live in the good times while you're in the good times, be present in the good times while you're in the good times, so that when the bad times come, you know that you can come back to those good times, and you can be happy knowing that when times were good, when things were going well, you actually lived in the good times, and that the bad times don't have to be so bad, because you know that you can actually get back to the good times that were before. And then the second thing I kind of already touched on, but I want to touch on again, is something else that can distract from us living in the moment, living in the present moment, and that is being future focused. Now, make the distinction between being prepared for the future and planning for the future, because that is not what I'm talking about. Being prepared and planning for the future are important. That is 100% very important. Future focused, however, is a bit different. Now, future focused to an extent can be a good thing. Looking at new innovations for the future, good thing. But actually living in the future, only living for the future, is not a good thing. Because then you miss out on everything that's happening right now. Even if right now is a bad time for you, you can still learn things that will help you in the future if you actually stay present in what's happening right now. We get stronger with bad times, we learn from bad times, and that's true. And good times need to be appreciated. So once again, live in the good times. You need to be present in the present moment. While you can plan for your future and be prepared for your future, and to some extent, live for the future in the sense of, thinking of things, new innovations in the future, or things you want to do in the future, that's fine. But you need to live in the present moment. Be present in the present, okay? Very fancy, right? But that is really what I wanted to say, because I've started noticing that I could be sitting with my family. I'm like, oh, I'm spending time with my family, even though I have my earphones and I'm watching YouTube videos while we're all sitting there, and I'm not actually really a part of the conversation. I'm not actually a part of, whatever is happening. I may be missing out on a lot of good family time, because in my mind, I'm sitting with them, I'm spending time with them, but I'm not actually present. I may as well sit in my room because I'm not really a part of anything. So that is why I made this video, because I found in my own life that I do this, and I've been really trying to make an effort to be present when I'm doing things with my family or doing things that I enjoy. Actually being present in the moment and enjoying the moment, and not getting distracted by things, not thinking too much about what's going to happen in the future, just living in that specific moment. And I know this can be difficult because we are in a very rushed world. We live in a very busy world and our minds are always racing. So it is very difficult for us to keep our minds focused on the present, which is why doing like meditation and things to calm your mind down and to do things to help you learn how to calm your mind down, I feel like is very important. Like, it's not for everyone. Like, some people have different methods of doing this, but I feel like finding a way to get out of your own head and calm your head down and just tell your mind to just relax and stop being so rushed, because we're in a busy world. We live in a rushed world where everything needs to happen now, that our brain is always running, it's always working, it's always going on in what's going on in the future, and that kind of reflects on us, and we're so focused on what's happening in the future that we don't enjoy the moment. So a part of being present in the moment is kind of training your mind to, yes, plan for the future. I've said this a million times. Plan for the future, be prepared for the future. But telling your mind that right now it's time to just relax, to stop running, to stop thinking, and just enjoy what is happening right now. And I feel like it's really important, because these are the things that's going to make up a good life. Being present in moments. Okay, and I know it's a bit of a shorter episode today, but I still feel like this message is incredibly important, because it's something we won't, when we hear someone tell this or tell this to us, or say this to us, that is the correct sentence, I think, say this to us, we then realize, oh, that is actually true. But how quickly do we forget that? That is why I just feel like maybe I should come out and remind you guys about this. And even myself, that sometimes I still need to stop myself from just putting the earphones in while I'm with my family, and just, it's something that I feel like we need to be reminded of constantly, to sometimes just focus on what's happening right now and to live in the moment instead of being too future focused, that it starts taking away from the moments that we're having right now. So that is why it's a shorter episode today, but I just felt this message needed to be, given or be out there. I felt like I needed to put this message out there, because I think it's something that we all need to think about. And the last 2 years have taught us that life is very short, and you never know. So spend the moments that you have, live in the moments that you have, because you never know when you'll run out of moments. That was supposed to be so deep and nice, and then I just stumbled over my words. But I don't want it to be depressing. I actually want it to be uplifting, that, okay, you know what? I'm going to live every single moment to the fullest, so that I do not have any regrets. So that is kind of the note I want to end on. It's an optimistic note. It's, okay, you know what? From now on, I'm taking the pledge to live in every single moment and prepare for my future, but still be present in the present. And I think I should end it there before I stumble over more of my words. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening to today's episode. I really hope that you enjoyed it and that it made you think, and that you will try to live more in the moment from now on, and actually be a part of memories. And I'm gonna end it here today, guys. Thank you so much for watching or listening. I will see you soon if you're watching on YouTube, or I will chat to you again soon if you're listening on the podcast. Have a great day, guys.